Yusuf is a former CNN Hindustan Times journalist and runs hashtag our stories on Snapchat. I'd like to hand it over to you to wrap the event up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rob literally wrote the book on Snapchat, like what, 4 or 5 years ago now, a long time ago. Hey guys, I'm going to keep it really quick because I'm anything separating you guys and networking, and then the whole purpose of this is for you guys to meet each other, to connect, to network. I want to tell you a little bit about our background into mobile journalism, how we moved from traditional media to starting our own startup, a grant that we just got awarded today in the UK, which we want to spend on hiring people. And that's about all I want to say. There's 3 things. Generally, people can only remember 3 things when you give a speech. I'll start by saying I dreamt of being a foreign correspondent. I wanted to tell stories of wars and natural disasters and travel around the world. And every news organization I spoke to, nah, we don't have money, we don't have opportunities. So eventually, I did this. I was like, F you industry, I'm going to do it myself. And in 2010, I started hitchhiking, and I hitchhiked from South Africa to Syria, from Durban to Damascus, telling stories up the east coast of Africa. 2012, I went to Congo, strapped a camera to my head and covered an ammunition depot exploding. 2014, I was smuggled into Syria, covering the Syrian civil war. The message that I'm bringing here today is if you want to get into storytelling and media and journalism and communications and being a mobile journalist, you need to do something quite outlandish because the barrier of entry has never been lower. It's too easy to get into this industry. You need to make a name for yourself as being that woman or that man or that person that did X. It's less to do with your resume, it's less to do with your experience, it's more to do with your ability to really project yourself into a space where other people haven't gone or don't want to go. I eventually worked at 24-hour news stations, then went to the Hindustan Times in India where we trained up 750 people to tell stories with mobile phones. Then I got my dream job at CNN here in London, being that social media reporter, traveling around the world, telling stories. And it wasn't what I enjoyed. When I looked at the media landscape, it lacked critical diversity. And we thought that we could do a new way of telling stories. So my co-founder and I, Samaya at the back, we launched hashtag our stories, just the 2 of us. We traveled to almost 140 countries over 2 years, and we trained thousands of people up how to tell stories with phones and even with wearable cameras. I'm wearing a camera on my face right now. I'm taking videos of you. And we curated their stories into shows, and we started producing shows every single day. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Today we reach 7 million people a day. So and we've grown a team. We've gone from 2 people to 11 people. I'm really excited that we just today got announced that we won a grant from Nesta and BGV, Bethnal Green Ventures. And this grant is to build augmented reality technology, so selfie filters, you know, the doggy tongues and the flower crowns, to help communities tell stories which will fight hate crimes. So how can we get marginalized communities that have been ignored by traditional media to create stories using their mobile phones, using selfie filters, which can help us create empathy and understanding? We're racing into this. We're hiring from as early as tonight, and we're going to be driving this project through to June. We'd love to work with all of you. Even if you don't work with us, you will work with somebody in this room. If I've learned one thing about networking is it works in the weirdest of ways. I once went for an interview at Channel 4, and I was like, I do vertical video and Snapchat and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, we're not interested in you because we don't do that kind of stuff. CNN then met up with the head of Channel 4 and said, hey, we're launching a Snapchat channel. And they said, we don't have one, but actually we just interviewed somebody a few weeks ago who was interested in that kind of stuff. So it's funny how network is going to work. It's funny how you guys will meet somebody who you think might not be of value for you today, but will be tomorrow. Thank you so much for this really quick few words.